So the new VivoActive 3 was just announced last week, and oh boy, it's been a little bit interesting week, especially amongst Fenix fans. So first off, I'm actually going to try to shy away from videos like this where I actually don't have the device in hand, but I had a lot of people ask my opinion on it, so I just want to give you what you're asking for. Now, I'm not just going to waste your time and just list off the features that you probably already know about through DC Rainmaker or all the press releases. However, what I do want to talk about are what I think are the coolest features, along with discussing some of that uproar amongst the Fenix fans. So many Fenix fans are definitely not happy with this news, with some pretty much downright pissed that they brought a lot of Fenix technology down to a lower price point of just $300 to $350. But first, let's talk about the actual device and my quick initial impressions. So I love the fact that they ditched the rectangular bezel for the round version that actually can be rotated 180 degrees depending on your desired preference. Really good job, Garmin. But what I think is actually one of the coolest features that seems to be getting a little bit overlooked is that side swipe feature, which is incredibly smart since the touchscreen usage on a small form factor can be really challenging, especially with sweaty hands. If you've ever used a GoPro Hero 5 or Edge 520, you know that swipe gestures on a small form factor device can be pretty frustrating, so I really have to applaud Garmin for thinking outside the box. Along with that, they really stepped up their smartphone game by adding Garmin Pay along with message replies on Android, but Apple having a very closed ecosystem, I really doubt that it's going to come to iOS. It was pretty smart for Garmin to add all these smartwatch features because the lines are really blurring between the smartwatch and activity tracker in this day and age. So I always thought there was a missing gap between the VivoActive HR, the Forerunners, and the base level of Fenixes, and obviously Garmin thought the same thing, and that's why they came out with this device. So after pondering over this feature set, my first initial thought, along with a lot of other Fenix fans, is that this thing could kill Fenix sales, especially Fenix 5S sales because of the smaller form factor, along with the fact that they brought the Elevate heart rate sensor to this device, the Bluetooth smart sensor support, as well as the phenomenal battery life. But let's dig a little bit deeper here and play devil's advocate, and here's where things may get a little heated. The one thing that I've definitely learned from a lot of the comments on my Fenix videos, as well as browsing a lot of the Fenix forums, and oh boy, I'm probably going to get like 8,000 dislikes for even saying this, is that the Fenix is simply way too much watch for a lot of people. But the thing is, there wasn't really another option for someone who didn't want something that looked like a Fitbit or basic activity tracker and actually wanted something that looked nice. Previously, the only Garmin option with great aesthetics was a Fenix, but you'd be paying a premium and you'd probably be paying for stuff that you may not even need, such as overbuilt durability and the immense amount of features that are actually intended for serious multi-sport athletes that were, to say it lightly, underutilized. Most people just run, bike, and use their watch at the gym. You definitely can't deny that, and Garmin knows that because of the new gym-oriented activities they added to the VivoActive 3, like the yoga, elliptical, and stair mill. However, there are users out there that are simply going to need more than that, especially for outdoor activities, and that's where the Fenix and Forerunners come into play. So here's the thing. As a Fenix owner, you may be upset with this news. There are some folks out there that actually think Garmin underpriced this device. I think this is actually the first time in history I've heard of somebody complaining that it was too cheap. But you can be sure that the build quality isn't going to be of the standards of the Forerunners and obviously nowhere close to the Fenix. Conversely, you may be of the camp that thinks that the Fenix is overpriced, which I don't necessarily agree with. I will agree that the Fenix is definitely not cheap by any means, but for what you get inside, I think it's a bargain. I'm still amazed at what this thing can do, and with the amazing build and durability, I don't think I get ripped off one single bit. I was ready to plunk down another $700 easily when I saw my watch stuck in my front wheel, and was absolutely amazed when I pulled it out of the front brake and it was basically perfectly fine. So I was definitely a little upset as well, especially with the newly announced features that aren't currently available on the Fenix 5, but after you consider and really look at the things missing from the VivoActive 3 HR that the Fenix does have, I can't fault Garmin at all. The VivoActive 3 is clearly not intended for serious outdoor athletes. There's no sapphire glass option, there's significantly less activity profiles, there's no triathlon or sport modes, along with a lack of support for the HRM or HRM Tri chest heart rate straps. This device is meant to bridge the gap, and with all the technology that they've developed, there eventually is going to be a trickle-down effect. The Fenix has been out for, 7-8 months now, and it's not like they aren't going to leverage all that research and development and just keep it exclusive to one level of devices. So I think the great thing is consumers are going to actually have a lot more options. Although it may seem that it actually makes the decision a little bit harder, I think it's actually going to make things a little bit easier because the cheaper alternatives to the Fenix simply did not have the aesthetics that a lot of people desired. So if you're considering the Fenix 5S mainly because of aesthetics and thought that it was a little bit too much watch for you, this is going to be a great option for you. Now people that want a great activity tracker along with some really good looks can get into a device without having to be overwhelmed by the high price of the Fenix along with the massive feature sets of the Fenix and Forerunners that definitely were being underutilized by many. So being an opinion piece, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. don't just dislike the video and then peace out. This is just merely my humble opinion, and I'm definitely not the same person as you, but I definitely want to hear your perspective. So also, do you want to hear opinion pieces like this? I'm going to try to shy away from videos like this, but I have had a lot of comments about my take on the VivoActive 3, so I thought I'd give you my take. So thanks so much for watching. I look forward to actually having the device in hand so I can actually really review it for you, and look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thanks a lot.